So we're from MIT. We're doing this class, like doing a documentary on supermarkets and stuff in the area, and just what happens to food after it's no longer suitable for the shelves, and like if you guys recycle it, donate it, sort of just what happens with stuff afterwards. So we're wondering if we could, I don't know, talk to anyone, do like an interview or something, just trying to get information about what happens to this stuff.
Peter Edmonds to the service desk, please. Peter Edmonds to the service desk, please.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I'll be any way I can. It's just a matter of it. We're
no, it's late
pretty
in the
much
day
it's retail, and we're pretty much out straight all the time. So.
Okay. Do you think that there would be a time that we would be able to set up with you, like 5-10 minutes to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot for your time.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good morning.
Hi.
So, I have a question. So we're doing a film thing for students at MIT, and
we can't do any filming in the building. Actually, can't do any filming at all unless you get it approved by regional. Our regional headquarters in Cambridge.
Okay.
You'd have to contact them first before you do anything.
Okay. Grab their number, please. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Hi, you've reached Robin Rayfield, North Atlantic PR Manager for Whole Foods Market. I'm sorry I missed your call. Please leave me your name, number, and a brief message, and I'll get back to you. Hi, you've reached Robin Rayfield, North Atlantic PR Manager for Whole Foods Market. On deadline, you try to reach me on my cell phone at 617-417-3895. Thanks. Have a great day. Begin recording your message at the tone. When you have finished, you may press the pound.
We do have enough food for everyone. It'd be really great if we could work on getting it to people who need it. My name's Chris Durkin. I'm the Director of Membership and Community Relations at Harvest Co-op Markets. The grocery business is a very small margin business. We make basically 1%. So you can't throw out food that's good. If food is sellable, then it's our job to sell it. Most of the produce and most of the kitchen scraps from the deli go in a compost. We work on a compost program with a company called Save That Stuff, which is a really great recycling company. And they compost right in the Boston area, and then the compost is given to local farmers.
How do you feel about dumpster diving in general?
Well, I have some friends who have, when they've gone through hard times, resorted to dumpster diving. My one concern is that it's dangerous for two reasons. You hit your head and you end up in a dumpster. I mean, the dumpster we have out here is a compactor. Plus the fact that you're going to get some food that's of, questionable quality, and it's really tough to know, just judging by looking at it, how long it's been there and whether it's gone really bad.
Is dumpster diving dangerous? I don't know what the risks are. You could be eating food that's expired, and I'm sure you incur a statistical risk. It's really a great thing that food has expiration dates that are enforced by a government agency. I totally respect that, and it's good to know how dangerous this food is that we're eating. But it turns you into a discerning customer, a discerning consumer. If you start by getting your food in a dumpster, you start off being suspect. You don't think, well, I paid money for this, it must be safe, and eat it without thinking. You're going to look at it, smell it, cut off the moldy parts. You'll be a much more educated consumer of food than you might otherwise be.
I have to say that I started working with food. When I started working with food, the first few times that I saw the food going in the trash, I was a little scared. Me coming from, I guess you would call it a third world country.
Where are you from?
Nicaragua. So I guess it's kind of scary to see like all the food going to trash, but after a while you kind of become used to it. You like every day you have to throw the food out, so it just becomes like a routine. So you don't realize how much food you throw away. So it just becomes the routine, I guess.
Food has price, and if you can't pay the price, you don't get the food, even if it means it's going to end up in a dumpster. I don't have a good reason to dumpster dive. I have money, I have a job, But it's food, and it's there, and why not?
Different kind of cheese.
We're gonna day up with some of Brooke's favorite, blueberry nut bread, bunch of sliced breads, some interesting looking loaves. That dumpster diving might be illegal, and it may be, but to argue that, you know, you're stealing someone else's private property seems patently absurd when it's sitting in a dumpster ready to go rot in a big trash heap somewhere. We're here.
Yeah.
This looks so sketchy.
I know, right?
Hey! Oh, there he is.
I guess the dumpster diving, we kind of just want to make sure that we kind of separate what we're doing from the whole dumpster diving community.
Right.
Because that's, I mean, it's honestly kind of a self-serving thing. You don't really see a lot of people dumpstering and, you know, doing anything but either eating the food or sharing it with their house, which, you know, fine, they're recognizing a problem, but it's, you know, very, very low level kind of tunnel vision. A lot of, like one of the reasons the stores might not have wanted to talk to you is because they get blamed for the system, and the system is in place because of, you know, consumer attitudes and because of things that, you know, have little to do with their personal choices when they go to work every day and handle the food. Okay, my name is Jason Camarata. My profession is, I don't even know what my profession is, really. I'm a philosopher.
One day we were on Newberry Street. He lived on Beacon Hill. And I had done a business deal on Newberry with a men's store. And I came out of the men's store and I thought I was great. I had just made $20,000 on a contract. So we're walking down Newberry Street and I said, hey, old bird, let's go have a martini at the Ritz-Carlton. I'll buy you a couple martinis. Let's go have a couple martinis. He said, wait a minute, wait a minute. He said, don't you see that? And I looked around. I said, what? He said, that. He pointed to two women pushing shopping carts in front of us. They were pushing them to the Boston Common. They had blankets, all their stuff. They were homeless women. They had big coats on. They had everything contained that they owned. Their whole lives were in a push cart, grocery cart. So he said, don't you see that? And I said, oh, yeah. I said, but let's go have a martini. He turned around, he screamed at me. He said, Nancy, you're an asshole. I don't want to be seen with you. Get away from me. Don't speak to me for 6 months. I didn't educate you to be an asshole. Deep. I was heartbroken. I was beside myself. I was young. I didn't know where I should be in life at that point. But his words to me were so intense that I changed my whole life. I never went to Newberry Street again, dear. I never tried to make the money, and I started Fair Foods.
Typical day is, well, I see Larry's ass and I see Richard's ass and sometimes see Nancy, but not if she can help it. And our typical day is we get here about 7:30 or so, bring the van to our pickup, which is a large industrial produce distribution center. We pick up the food that is surplus, and the reason why it is surplus is because it can't be sold at market price or there's too much of it to sell at market price. The reason why a supermarket or restaurant would not buy this case is because the tomatoes have ripened unevenly. And if you have a basket of tomatoes on the shelf that's unevenly ripened, it is less appealing to the consumer. Therefore, we got, how many, 96 cases? 96 cases of these fine cherry tomatoes. Some of that crisp stuff and a couple of onions and walnuts. I wonder why we got these. Best Buy 1009. See, we got this because it's not even an expiration date, it's a Best Buy date. And in our quest for newness and shininess and freshness and our obsession with consumerism, we've gotten into the habit of putting on Best Buy dates instead of expiration dates, which Best Buy doesn't even really mean anything. It doesn't mean it goes bad after that. It just means it'll be slightly fresher, to the point where probably most people can't tell the difference after this date. And because of that, we got an entire, let's see, about 70 pounds of walnuts because of that, and that's a lot of walnuts, and that's a lot of retail value too. So we pick up the food, and usually we're back about noon, then either drop food off in bulk to distribution sites run by volunteers, and they could be in a church, an elderly building, or a community center, at a school, anywhere where somebody has set up a site, and then we bag up the food. And this here is a typical bag that we distribute to the public. 4 or 5 stalks of celery, a basket of peanuts, 2 peppers, a couple of onions, a basket of cherry tomatoes, pounds of potatoes, and a couple of apples. And we distribute this food for $2 a bag. And we used to distribute it for $1 a bag. We just raised our prices for the first time in 20 years to cover our operating costs, and mainly for the reason of dignity, because when people give money for a product they're receiving, it's empowering to people.
Years ago, I had a great Italian friend who gave me these tomatoes. And I said to him, do you want a tax write-off for this? He said, no, hell no. He said, that's what's wrong with America. I can afford to give this tomato. I don't need a tax write-off, Nancy. I have 2 condominiums and a swimming pool. 20 years later, his son wants a tax write-off for every single thing he gives. Is that giving?
And there's no big conspiracy behind it. It's just the way that capitalism works.
It's a time when everyone knows that there are a lot of people in need, and we just try and make it a simple connection between the people who have a little more and the people who don't.
I could probably survive exclusively on food from the dumpster, and probably a few other people could too. But obviously it's not a solution that scales.
I dislike the word waste when talking about food in particular. It's because waste, it suggests something that is not usable. It suggests something that you would throw away. And really this, I mean, in the terms of how we use the word waste today, this tomato would be considered waste. And it is not waste at all. It is something that is really delicious and very nutritious as well. And in using the word waste, it really destroys the dignity of someone like me who is eating that waste. I think it is wonderful that we are becoming aware as a society of how much we throw away and how much we consume. Obviously, awareness is the first step to fixing that problem.
So what are we going to do about feeding the world? I'm asking you a question.
Sorry.
Here, let me film you now. Give me a camera.
Okay.
What are we going to do about feeding the world? Is it on?
It's on. Damn it, someone.